So if you've ever tried to do a transaction on Ethereum and just stared at the screen wondering why it's so slow and expensive, you're definitely not alone. It's a huge problem. But there's a revolution happening to fix it, and right at the heart of it all is a project called Polygon and its token MATIC. So let's dive in and see how it's completely changing the game. All right, so here's our roadmap for this breakdown. First, we're going to tackle Ethereum's big growing pains. Then we'll get into the super clever solution known as Layer 2s. From there, we'll see exactly how Polygon and MATIC are leading the pack, what actually gives the token its value, and, what this all means for the future of blockchain. Oh, you know this feeling. If you've ever tried to buy an NFT or make a trade on Ethereum, you know this pain. You click send, and then you wait, and then you get hit with a fee that honestly just makes your eyes water. It's a massive roadblock for so many people, and it's the exact problem we're going to unpack today. Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, Ethereum's digital traffic jam. Time to really understand this blockchain bottleneck. It's a classic case of being a victim of its own success. Ethereum is the #1 superhighway for smart contracts and decentralized apps. But the problem is, that means it's pretty much in a constant state of gridlock. There's just way too much traffic for the number of lanes it has. So what happens with all that gridlock? Well, you get this. The whole network gets clogged up, which drives up those insane gas fees. Think of them as the tolls for using the highway. And that leads to painfully slow transactions and, frankly, just a really bad user experience. It's literally like being stuck in rush hour traffic, but with your money. But what if there was an express lane, a way to just bypass all that traffic? Well, that's the whole idea behind Section 2, the Layer 2 solution. So what even is a Layer 2? Okay, imagine a brand new high-speed highway built right alongside the main Ethereum road. It siphons off a ton of the traffic, processes it super fast and super cheap in its own lanes, and then, and this is the cool part, it just reports the final results back to the main Ethereum chain. So the main road stays secure, but it's totally freed up from all that congestion. And this, right here, is where our hero enters the scene. Section 3. Let's talk about Polygon and its token, MATIC, which is without a doubt one of the biggest leaders in this whole Layer 2 revolution. Polygon is one of the most popular Layer 2s out there, and it uses some really clever tech. Things like sidechains, which are basically independent blockchains that run parallel to Ethereum, and rollups, which cleverly bundle hundreds of transactions together into just a single transaction on the main chain. The end result? A massive reduction in the workload for Ethereum, which makes everything way faster and way cheaper.
And the difference is it's night and day. It's not even close. Where the main Ethereum network is slow and ridiculously expensive, Polygon is lightning fast and incredibly cheap. We're talking about a transaction that could cost you $50 on Ethereum, costing less than a single penny on Polygon. Think about that. This isn't just a small improvement, it's a total game changer that opens up the ecosystem for everybody.
Okay, so the tech is awesome, we get it, but what about the token itself? Why does MATIC have value? That's what we're digging into in Section 4, because this is about way more than just a token. You gotta think of the MATIC token as the fuel for the whole Polygon engine. It's not just something to speculate on. You need it to pay for those tiny transaction fees. You use it to help secure the entire network through staking. And it's basically your passport to this whole new efficient ecosystem. In a way, holding it is like getting in on Ethereum's growth, but through a much, much faster lane. And guess what? This real-world utility, it's getting noticed. I'm talking about the biggest names in tech. The companies that need solutions that actually work right now are flocking to Polygon. We're not talking about hype here. This is real, serious adoption by businesses that need to be able to handle massive scale. And when I say big players, I mean household names. We're talking Meta. We're talking Stripe. Yeah, those guys are integrating Polygon's tech. That is a massive stamp of approval. It shows that Polygon isn't just for crypto geeks anymore. It's becoming a foundational piece of the next version of the web. This quote really just hits the nail on the head. The market's growing up. It's starting to look past all the speculation and ask the real question. What does this thing actually do? And in a world like that, a project like Polygon, with its undeniable utility and scalability, isn't just riding the wave. It's helping to create it. Okay, so this all leads us to our final section, shaping the future. Let's look at the crucial part Polygon is playing in what's coming next for the entire world of blockchain. And here's the most important thing to get. Polygon's success is tied directly to Ethereum's success, but in the best way possible. As Ethereum keeps growing and getting bigger, it's going to need layer 2s like Polygon more and more to handle all that activity. And that means more users, more developers, and more value flowing right through the Polygon network.
And so that leaves us with this final question to chew on. As this whole crypto economy matures, are we finally moving past all the hype and getting to a place where real-world utility is the ultimate measure of value? Well, after everything we've seen with MATIC, the answer seems to be a resounding yes.